Hello everyone. In this video, we'll see how we can do CRUD operation in Excel. What I mean by CRUD operation, how we can add a new row, how we can update, how we can do delete, or how we can iterate through our complete Excel, like using Power Automate. So first of all, what I will do, I will need an Excel sheet, right? So the first thing that I need to do is I will go to my OneDrive and I'll go to my files and I will create a folder here. I will say this as Excel example and I will create this and I will open my this Excel example. I will click on my this create button and I will say I need an Excel workbook. Now I need to create a table here. So I will create an employee table. First of all, let me rename this. I will say this as employee. Okay, yeah, all right. So here what I will do, I will simply say ID here, or instead of this, I can say as employee ID. And the next column here, let me say this as department. And then let me say this as salary. Then let me say another column named as status. Let me add a dummy data here. So I will say I have my employee number 1, I have my employee number 2. And let's say I have employee number like employee ID 3, and let me give a department here. I can say IT, I can say HR, I can say finance, and let me say salary as maybe like 5,000, or let me say this as 5,000, and here let me say this as 3,500, and let me say this as 4,000, and all of them are active in the system. Okay, so I will copy this and I'm gonna paste this. All right. So now the next thing that we need to do is we need to create a table for this. So for that, I will simply go here, data. Let me go to home here and let me say format as table. I will select any table format here and I'm selecting my table as headers. All right. So now if you go to table design here, you can, so this is the name of your table. So I can say this as, instead of this, we can have a name like employee table. Now the important thing here is in Excel, you need to have table, then only Power Automate will work, right? Because Power Automate works on your rows, columns, right? So that's why we need to create a table here. So now we have created a employee table simply. So now we'll start doing CRUD operation. So let me open Notepad. So I will do CRUD operation. So first of all, I will create a new employee. Okay. So let's say we have a new employee named as employee ID 4 and he is going to join the sales department, and let's say the salary is around 3,500 and we will activate a system. So we'll create this data in this spreadsheet using Power Automate. So for that, what I will do, I will click on automation, I will click instant flow. All right, I will click on this create button and I will say CRUD operation in Excel. Okay, so what I will do, I am going to manually run this flow. Okay, so what I need employee ID. So these would be my two integers, and here these two would be my string. So I can simply say here ID, or instead of ID, I need to say this as employee ID. Here it will say me please enter employee ID. Then I will add my next input and I will say here department, I can say please enter department, and then I can again add input. My next column is salary, and again this would be a number here, so I can say this as salary. I'm going to copy this. I will say please enter salary, and the last would be again it would be a string here, status. Please enter, I can say here, employee status. All right. Okay, so let me do this thing. I will hard code this value. So I will delete this one. Okay. And then I will click on new tab. Here, I will simply search for Excel. And when you go to here Excel, you select this Excel Online Business. Then here you will have something called, let me search for add. You see here add a row in a table. So simply click here and now it will sign in. Alright, the sign in is completed. So I have these many options. I'm going to select OneDrive because I kept my Excel file inside this Excel example folder and my Excel file name is employee. And then here inside my document library, I can say my OneDrive. And then here I need to select my file. So I can go to my Excel example and here this is my Excel file. And now inside this Excel file, if you remember, I have created a table. So when you go to home and when you, not home, like when you click on this particular table, you have a table design, you have this employee table. So this would be coming here, employee table. All right, you have added your added row, this particular action. Now you need to fill the data. So from here, from where you are going to get this employee ID from here, right? So you simply search for employee ID. Then department, this also will be getting it from here because you are going to manually trigger the flow. Then salary, here I will say salary. And here status, let me hard code the status as active. Okay, and let me save this. All right, so now let me go here and I will say test. I will click on manually. I will click on my test button and I will click on continue. Here I need to give my employee ID. Let's say my employee ID is 5. And let's say my department is sales. And I'm going to enter salary as like something like 4,000. And I will run my flow. And I will click on done. So you see the flow runs successfully. And now when you will go here and you see our new data is ready here. Now the new data is inserted. So in this way we can do this this like create, or you can say add a new row in a table. Now the next would be we will do read in at the end. Now we'll do update. Okay, so now we'll do a update operation. So how we can do update operation? So let me go back to my spreadsheet and let us assume I want to increase salary of this employee from 4,000 to, let us say, to 4,500. Okay, let's see how we can do that. Okay, so we'll go back to our flow. Okay, and here what all we are passing, okay, so I will use the same. Here I will need to delete this operation because it is going to add a new row in my table. So I will simply delete this. I will say new tab and I will search for Excel here. Again, I will select this one. Here I will search for update and I will use this update a row. Again, I will need to select my location. So I will choose OneDrive. Again, here also I'm going to choose OneDrive. Then I need to show path of my Excel file. So inside my Excel example, I have my Excel file. Then here I will need to select my table. My table is this employee table. Okay, now here I need to select a column. Okay, so if you see, out of all this column, the employee ID will always be unique. So currently, we are just learning, or this is just a sample video, but in real case, you might put a, kind of functions here that the employee will always be unique because the employee ID should be unique. So let us assume the employee ID is unique in our scenario. And here we will, pass the key value. So this time I will use my list rows present in a table. I will simply click here. And here again, I will need to do same thing. I will select my location. I will select my document library, that is OneDrive. I will need to select my file path. So I will go to Excel example. I'll go to this employee. I will need to select my table. All right. So we'll see use of this one later. So let me add a new expression, and I will again search for my create HTML table because that is going to, iterate. So what I will say, I will simply say create an HTML table, and here I will pass the body. Here we go. And let us say you want to create automatic column. Okay, so that's fine. And at the end, I will simply use this send an email action. Send an email v2. I'm going to search for this user, and I will say all employees detail, and I will pass the body. But before that, let me do one more thing here. I will add an action. I want to format my email. So for that, I will click here. I will say this as CSS code. So I will pass the sample CSS code here. I can go here. I will paste this. All right. So this is the code. Style table, then table header and table data, table row, and this is for hovering background, and this is the color of the child one. And here what I will do, I will first of all select the CSS code, then I will select this create HTML table, and I will save this. Or let me simply test this, and it will get saved as well. So let me click on save and test. So I'll click on continue. I will run my flow. I will say done. Failed. Okay. And it is typically asking for, and let me click here, it is asking for an array. Okay, so now if you see, the array is starting from here till here. Okay, so now I will write an expression here. I will simply say expression, but I will say I need output. Okay, so I need, so let me click this. So I need body of this, right? So I can simply say, instead of output, I'm gonna use body, and I will simply say this is my body. And then here I will put a question mark, and then you see inside body I need this value, right? So I can simply say I need value. And let me click OK. And now if you further see, inside our value we are going to get these two extra elements, right? We don't require that, right? So that's why instead of automatic, I will need to select my custom. Okay, so here I can specify manually. So what is the first one? It's employee ID. It's employee ID, and then it is what do we call it, department. Then we have salary one. Then we have status, and here I can pass everything. So I can simply say, again I will need to write expression here. So I will say item, and then here I will need to put this, and I can simply item. Second, I will need to enter the same name here, like the name that I'll be getting from here. So I will get exactly the same name, but whereas I can change it something like employee ID. So let me add this. Oh, let me again write expression here. I will say items, and here I will pass employee ID. Similarly, here I will need to pass this as department. I will need to make sure I'm not putting any. Click here. Let me click add department. Similarly, I will put here salary. I will say item, and here is salary. And let me add only these elements only. I'm going to delete it. Okay. And let me test this one, and let's see how it works. So I'll click on save and test. I will run my flow. I will click here. I click on done. Okay. So now if you see, we have successfully got an email. Alright, so in this video we have done the CRUD operation, like that is we have completely read our Excel, we created items as well, we updated as well, we deleted as well. We also see how we can create a table in our Excel and how this could be a useful tool. And we have also seen a real like scenarios where we want to update certain data. Now this would be very helpful if you want to update data in thousands. Okay, so here I'm manually triggering a flow, but instead of manual you could do it through automation only. You could, let's say if you want to pass the data from your SharePoint or from any external device or something like that, so it would be very useful in this scenario. So thank you so much for watching this video.